This is the National Insurance Crime Bureau Chief Executive Officer, David J. Glawe, joins us now. And such is the nature of live news here, where all of our communication thus far has been digital. I would love to introduce myself. I'm Connor. It's wonderful to meet you, David, and I hope you're having a great Tuesday.
Yeah, nice to meet you. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And you come to us with what I think is a really, not just a unique topic, but a unique conflation of topics. Here on this Atlantic seaboard, here in Hampton Roads, hurricane season is always something that gets a lot of focus, and we are prone to that type of storm. So we are certainly familiar with natural disasters. We also are in a situation in 2026 where I think most people are increasingly aware of potential scams, especially when it comes to digital methods through which those scams might be executed, and of course the sort of seemingly never-ending inundation of phone calls that so many people are subject to in 2026 here. So now we are doing an interview with David where we're kind of going to bring those two things together, because something that I'm really learning about more recently just from getting in touch with your organization, David, is the high potential risk for being scammed after you're affected by a natural disaster. I just want to start big picture here. How big of a problem is this? It obviously is incredibly sad to think that people would be taken advantage of at their lowest moments. How big of an issue do we have here?
Yeah, unfortunately, it's a very big issue. Just to kind of set the scene of how many catastrophic events we're seeing, natural disasters, and I know Virginia very well. I lived 20 years there as an FBI agent. We see a catastrophic event every 16 days and $1 billion of losses in the United States. Compared to the 1980s, we saw one every 82 days. Of those losses last year, we had $115 billion in insurance claim for insurance losses for the consumers, and 38% increase. We've seen a 38% increase in fraudulent claims associated with that. Unfortunately, Virginia, you rank number 8 for contractor fraud.
Okay, so let's start with contractor fraud. That's, terrible news to see the Commonwealth so high. What makes the Commonwealth so prone to contractor fraud? And then give us maybe a summary of what contractor fraud is, if you could.
Sure, it's about the money. If you think about criminal enterprises, what drives behavior, it's the money. They create criminal structures, criminal enterprises to target people, be it businesses or the public or the insurance industry, to go after the money. When you're talking about $115 billion that is flowing to recover these individuals, these homes, these families that have been devastated by natural disasters, it's the money they're going after. So they're attempting to get the cash that the insurance industry pays to a consumer to rebuild their lives. And they're creating fake personas, fake businesses by going door to door, knocking on your door, saying they're selling services to pick up yard waste or repair your roof. They're contacting you doing telemarketing or online and asking for money up front. The problem is these aren't legitimate businesses. They aren't legitimate organizations. They're just going after the money, and once that money's paid, they're gone.
And, it's always follow the money is something that sort of it has become a little bit of a catchphrase here when trying to decipher these situations and figure out how to prevent against them. So I guess we'll start here. Before we get into that prevention, I maybe want to start with, can we talk about why natural disasters create a environment in which scamming, in which there's such a high potential for scams and fraud to occur? What is it about these situations that leaves people and organizations vulnerable?
That's a great question. And I've been in law enforcement for almost 35 years. As I mentioned, I was an FBI agent formerly, and it's the money. It's that $115 billion that flows into states, into communities. It's all about the money, and business structures that are set up to defraud the consumers. These poor people have been victimized once by a natural disaster, and now they're going after the money that the insurance industry provides to rebuild their lives. And it's just sad. It's a sad state because people are already in a horrible place. They're out of their homes. They may not have a place to live, or they're in temporary housing, and they're going after the money when a person's most vulnerable. And you ask the reason why it happens is people want to get their lives back in order. They want to get their families back in home. They want to get back to work, their kids back in school. So, and in myself, is you want to as quickly as possible to get that. And that's where these individuals, these criminal businesses, strike because they know you want to get back. They appear legitimate. They're going to appear like they're legitimate businesses. They're going to appear like they have legitimate website or people working for them. In actuality, is they're just trying to get you to sign a document or to pay cash up front, and then they're going to be gone. They're going to take your money and they're going to leave. And they operate all throughout the United States and U.S. territories. They just move based on where a catastrophic event occurred.
Okay, so on to that prevention. How do you make sure that you have all the warning signs in your purview to avoid this type of issue?
The key thing is to verify that they have active businesses. Before we even get that, I just want to highlight, make sure your policies are up to date, that you have replacement value for today's market. We've been in inflation. Homes are worth more, properties worth more to replace. Make sure your policies are updated. So contact your insurance carrier to make sure you have an active policy because you will not be covered after the fact. But what should you do? The key component to this is to verify that they're active businesses, to verify their license, work with your insurance carrier. They will help you do that, as well as all 50 states have divisions of insurance and insurance commissioners that have website resources to verify that contractors are legitimate. Verify their licenses, verify they have referrals of positive works, and go slow. Don't sign documents or pay money up front till you go through that verification process, working with the insurance carriers, as well as the verification process you can use online through your insurance commissioner's office.
Okay, good to know. So following those steps, making sure that you are extremely careful. In terms of what you guys do, your team, can you walk us through your exact process to make sure that you guys are helping to prevent this type of thing as well?
Yeah, we've been around for 115 years. We're one of the oldest organizations from the public-private partnership to share information, which is the bedrock to prevent crime. The Department of Homeland Security and the Bureau currently run those programs. So we pass information. We have access to billions of records to pass information to law enforcement on behalf of the insurance industry and the consumers to identify those criminal networks. We have intelligence analysts and agents in all 50 states and U.S. territories. We're there to help prosecute and seize asset if money's been paid to try to recover those funds and prosecute and put these criminal actors in jail.
All right, David Glawe from the National Insurance Crime Bureau. We certainly appreciate everything you guys do, the warnings that you give and the preparation that you take to try and prevent this, and hopefully a little bit more awareness can help as you saw, an increase in natural disasters that cause $1 billion of damage leads to an increase in fraud that tries to target those who are most vulnerable. So we appreciate everything you do. We appreciate you joining us today. Is there anything else you want to add before we let you go?
Yeah, if you are a victim of a crime, you can contact us at nicb.org to file a complaint, and we have a toolkit to identify resources to help you. But if you think a criminal actor, a criminal person is on your property, call 911 so uniformed law enforcement can respond.
Okay, that is David Glawe, and you heard nicb.org if you need help, or if you are in an immediate, imminent threat. If you think someone is on your property, 911, of course, to get that immediate help, assistance, and protection. But nicb.org otherwise, if you want to reach out and get help from this organization, which is, again, the National Insurance Crime Bureau, and that is David Glawe, the Chief Executive Officer of that organization. David, we appreciate your time.
Thank you for having me.
And again, that's such an important interview for us to do here in Hampton Roads, because we know once hurricane season comes, there is always the possibility that those in our community will be struck by natural disaster. We see even now in western North Carolina, Governor Josh Stein of North Carolina continuously giving press conferences years out from Hurricane Helene as they try to recover in those efforts. And unfortunately, there are criminals who see an opportunity to make money off of these disasters in an illegal way. Trying to protect against that possibility is the goal, of course.